You don't have to do anything else. Okay. Science is making advances all the time. The human body is incredibly amazing, and there's still a lot that we don't know that it can do and how it's functioned. Research and scientists are working all the time to provide to extend the quality of life and the longevity of it. One of the biggest achievements happened was the placement of an artificial heart. It occurred December 2nd, 1986 at the University of Utah on a Barney Clark. He actually lived for 120 days. One of the more successful heart transplants came on August 29th, 1985. He was the youngest and he was the sixth recipient of the heart transplant. He was also the first one to use what's called a bridge transport. It actually kept him alive until he was able to find a donor heart 9 days later. He actually lived for nearly 5 years after the surgery. How the artificial heart works is also called the Jarvis, which was the very first one. It worked, it had two pumps, kind of like our heart ventricles. The pump, each pump had a sphere-looking ventricle that had a mechanism that pushed the heart from the inlet valve to the outlet valve. It was powered by air. Air was pulsing through the ventricle air chambers at a rate of 40 to 120 beats per minute. The artificial heart was attached to the natural heart's aorta, which is the upper two chambers of the heart, by cuffs made of synthetic polyester that had tough and elastic properties. The drive lines out of the ventricle air chambers were made of a reinforced polyurethane tubing. The lines were covered where they exited the skin with this elastic to ensure the stability and the encouragement of the tissue to grow. The old console that powered the artificial heart was huge. It was the size of a refrigerator, but it was obviously not that heavy. It made movement incredibly difficult. It was connected to sources like compressed air, vacuum, and electricity. It had a backup battery and an onboard compressed air tanks. The tanks were used for transportation of the patient. Doctors were still able to control the pump rate, the pumping pressure, and other functions to keep it operational. Obviously, they've made vast improvements since then. The achievement towards science has always been intriguing to me. When growing up, my parents and my grandmothers were all nurses. I wanted to follow in those footsteps, so I wanted to treat the person and not the illness. So I started nursing school. Part of the degree plan was a microbiology lab and lecture. I started reading the biology book and I couldn't put it down. I would start studying at 8 p.m. and I would look down at the clock. 4 hours had passed in the blink of an eye. If I couldn't sleep, I would start thinking of the chemical reactions of the muscle contractions, and I also made one of the highest grades that you can make in biology. Growing up with a family of nurses, I knew I wanted to help people, but biology took my heart. I would get so excited when I'd see the cellular structures of a prokaryotic cell, and then when I started studying immunology, I just absolutely fell in love. It was the toughest decision I made, but I decided to change my degree plan to biology. People ask me all the time, what do you want to be when you grow up? What do you do with that type of degree? And to be honest, I really don't know. I don't have the slightest clue. All I know is that when I learn biology, I get excited like one of those teenage girls that are falling in love. I want to be a part of research. I want to be a part of the changing world. I want to help get rid of diabetes and Alzheimer's. I want to contribute to preserving life and maybe finding a cure to zombies if it comes down to it. All I know is my love and my faith in science. Thank you so much for your time, and that's it.